All right. Peace and blessings. This is your brother, BroYosef, also known as Chief Nawadi Nakwisiawi, and I'm back with another video. So, I'm sitting here in my office, family. I'm getting some work done. Some tribal nation work. Building a tribal nation is very daunting. It requires a lot of responsibility. And it requires a lot of people to be hopefully your members could be patient, because it's a lot of work that gets done in the background that people don't see. Okay, and that's what I'm working on right now. I'm working on things that people can't see that's going to greatly benefit us in the future. You know what I'm saying? So I love all my members. I love all the people even people that's not my members. I love my Patreon members. Thank you guys for being here. You know, sometimes I just got to say thank you. So thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for watching the videos. And, you know, I'm going to keep giving y'all some good information. So today, family, you guys can see the title. I want to talk about something called the Lucifer program. The Lucifer program. And I want to explain to you guys why Lucifer has a lot with us being here. A lot to do with us being here. And you guys have heard me explain this information in different ways, but I never actually gave it all out in its full, you know, the full version of it. I've given pieces of it here and there. But what I'm going to attempt to do in this video is give you guys the full version of it, right? Without making the video too long, but giving you guys the full version of it. So today, family, I did a consultation with someone, and somehow I started to just talk about the Lucifer program, and they thought it was some really good information. They're actually a member of my Patreon here, and I thought, man, this might be some good information to give to my paid members, my Patreon members, you know. So that's what I'm going to do here. So let's start from the beginning to explain this Lucifer program, okay? And I'm going to start out talking about the gods who are the gods of your bodies. The world famous Anunnaki. The universe, some of the most famous entities in the universe, the Anunnaki. That's what we call them on Earth. That's not their true names, right? But that's what we call them, the Anunnaki. Who and what really are the Anunnaki? Right? Excuse my camera, guys. It seems to it's adjusting for some reason. I'm not sure if I could change that at all, but it seems to be adjusting here. I think it happens every time I move my head, so I'm going to try to stay focused on the screen. So, the Anunnaki family are entities that first existed in a parallel universe, actually where they are now. So the Anunnaki are from a parallel universe, but also in that universe, they're from another dimension. So we're talking about 7-dimensional beings, some 8th-dimensional, that are from a whole nother reality, a whole nother timeline, a whole nother universe. Let that sink in for a second. So what I'm really telling you guys is that the Anunnaki, as they exist, they don't exist in this universe. What I mean by that is they exist in the universe, but not our universe. So what we're dealing with is multidimensional beings from another universe that are now currently have children in this reality and in this universe. The Anunnaki are a futuristic version of us. Okay? They are humans that have evolved into gods by the use of technology. They are our children. Okay? They realized something very important as they started to evolve. That the technology could only go so far. It could never make it to what we call the overworld. Right? Which is the true world. They couldn't get past the 8th dimension. They were stuck. Because by intertwining technology with their bodies and with their whole living situation. Now, don't get me wrong, the 8th dimension is a great place to be. But once you're there for so long, you want more. And that's actually what they wanted. They wanted more. They wanted to go home to the true world. They realized they couldn't do it. But they realized, because they're scientists, they're extremely intelligent, that there was a way that they can evolve, and they just will have to do this all over again. And what they found out is that they can go back in time, recreate themselves, and help humanity evolve the correct way, right? By merging with our souls and taking our souls into the next dimension, not merging with technology. Okay? Because technology holds you back. Eventually, technology can go really far, but eventually it holds you back, right? Earthly technology, physical technology. So, what they decided to do was to go back in time, implant their DNA in another version of Earth in another timeline. Which by doing that, they created a whole new timeline, and they decided to redo this thing all over. Now, they thought about this, but they didn't know exactly how it could be done. So what the Anunnaki also did was they actually created councils, and they got with other extraterrestrials who were in this universe and its existence. They got with these other extraterrestrials and says, hey, why don't we all implant, we're the Anunnaki, so we're going to implant the majority of our DNA in these people, right? But just so we all have a pact together, we're all going to plant a portion of our DNA inside man. So they will be us, but they will be slightly different. They'll be more advanced as they grow. And I'm talking to everybody who's watching this live stream. No matter what race you are, no matter what color you are, even though the Anunnaki are more brown-skinned, dreadlock people, all humanity are connected to the Anunnaki. So African-looking people tend to look more like the Anunnaki. But all humans on the planet have the DNA of the Anunnaki in them. That's a fact. So we don't just have Anunnaki blood. We have, I believe it's 26 different species of extraterrestrials in our DNA. I could be wrong, 26, 28 species. But their DNA structure is very small and minimal compared to the stronger DNA structure of the Anunnaki, which is the majority of who we are. This is why when you're in your mother's womb, you go through different stages. You look like a big-headed alien at one point, right? At one point, you're only female. At one point, you got gills and you can breathe underwater. You go through this whole cycle of birth in different stages because of your DNA. Okay? The person who truly gave the Anunnaki the correct process of doing this was Lucifer. Lucifer, which is not its true name, that's what we call it. This entity who deals with light and wisdom and knowledge, right? Who is more of a feminine deity who can be sought out in the universe by higher entities. Lucifer is pretty much a problem solver. The male version of Lucifer will be closer to Thoth, the god Thoth, who's also a problem solver, who's a teacher of mankind, a teacher of the universe. All the gods in Egypt were taught by Thoth. Right? Thoth was a self-created entity. The true version of that energy is Lucifer. Okay? Lucifer is put down on this earth as a person who becomes Satan, which is not true. Satan is a title of extraterrestrials, right? But to go back to the story, Lucifer was the one that gave the Anunnaki this idea. Lucifer was in that dimension at the time and told the Anunnaki, you guys can do this all over, and this time we'll do it the correct way. So we got together and we created councils. We must understand, all these galactic councils, they don't just guard the universe, they guard us. They make sure that the program goes as directed. Lucifer sits on that council as a different entity in a different form. Certain Anunnakis, who are more like prime ministers of the Anunnaki, they sit on these boards. You got the Zeta Reptilians, the Pleiadians. You have the the Draconians, believe it or not, certain aspects of the Draconians. All the Drake people from Draco are not evil, right? You have Dragon Lords, Time Lords. You have different entities that sit in what they call the inner circle of the Galactic Council and the outer circle of the Galactic Council. These entities all got together, created humans, and said, let's allow man to evolve. Okay? Let's allow man to evolve, but let's make it hard for him. And I'm going to tell you why they decided. Now, they said, let's make it hard for man on the second term, because they realized something very special about man. This goes back to when they planted man here and gave man the ability to be and do whatever he want. And then, the Galactic Council watched over them, but at the same time, the heads of this whole thing, the Anunnaki, they left. They went to go do other things. And they said, oh, we'll come back and check. They were getting reports that man is evolving, man is advancing. And it was happening so rapidly until they got a report to come, hey, y'all need to come back now, man. These people is like, they advancing and evolving way beyond what we expected. And because man had access to his kundalini at will, he had access to all of his brain power, he had the access to tap into the DNA of all of the extraterrestrials that are involved, it made him more powerful than everybody on the Galactic Council. Man became so powerful until man realized that it was more powerful than the gods that that created them. Right? Man realized that. The entities at that time. They also went ahead and built Lemuria and Atlantis. When the gods approached the Atlantean Council, who knew about the Galactic Council, when they approached them and said, hey, y'all need to stand down and we're going to break y'all up. They had a whole new plan for the Atlanteans. The Atlanteans refused to abide by those rules, so a fight broke out. Okay? We were an advanced group of people. We were so advanced until we were actually going to create a portal to go straight to the higher dimensions. We had stargates. This is where they talk about in the Bible how man was, the language was separated because they were building a stairway to heaven. That stairway was actually a stargate that they had multiple stargates to go to different dimensions. Okay? Somebody named Destiny sent me a donation. Thank you. They pretty much refused to abide by the council's rules. They had stargates that can go to 4th dimension, 5th dimension, 6th dimension. They had built stargates that can go to any dimension they wanted to. Once this happened, once they built these stargates, family, the council didn't like this stuff, right? They felt like we were too protected, and we were too sheltered, and we were allowed to do too much. So what they decided to do was make us stand down, and they were still more advanced than us. So we lost the war. Let's just say that humans lost the war with their gods, and when the war was lost, the language of man was separated. What does that really mean? Let's talk about that for a second. What does it mean by the language of man? Does it actually mean words and languages were separated? No. What it really means by man was separated by language actually comes out of your DNA. Okay? So what they're really saying is that the gods shut down the language. They shut down the ability for a man to tap into the data, the language, the DNA. They shut the ability for us to tap into our DNA at will. They shut that down. This is why, family, you have junk DNA. Man, a part of me wants to put this on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? I feel like more people need to hear this, but y'all gonna get this first, and I'll put it up on YouTube maybe a few days later. So that's what happened. The DNA was shut down, and the language was shut down. This is why, family, when you speak Hebrew, right? When you speak Latin, when you speak Arabic, or even Babylonian, or other secret languages, right? These languages activate aspects of your DNA. When you say the right tonal language, it activates your DNA. It makes your spell work more powerful. It makes you more powerful by speaking in that language. So our DNA was shut down and we were separated from our power to the point where we can access our Kundalini at will. We were shut down from the ability to levitate at will, to be telepathic at will. So we were pretty much shut down, and they didn't shut it down to the point we could never access it again. They shut it down to the point where, they didn't want us to access it easily. Let's just say that. They didn't want us to easily access the DNA. Once that happened, a new plan was created for man. They knew that we would tap into our potential again, right? And they realized that how powerful and how precious mankind was. So what they decided to do this time was shield us again, but this time shut our DNA down and give us an adversary. So with that being said, this is all part of the Lucifer program, family. Certain energies were allowed to come here. These energies were people who recently separated from Enki, one of our gods, one of our physical gods, who we also call Yahweh, right? They were allowed to separate and come to Earth, right? These were renegades, people who were against Enki. They're allowed to come here, but they were told you cannot destroy man as a whole. Make it hard for him. If man chooses to follow you, so be it. If he chooses not to follow you, so be it. But you cannot force him to do anything. But you have the ability to persuade him. These people became Satanists, as we know today. That's why I tell you guys, Satan is an extraterrestrial. It's not a guy with horns who lives in hell. Satan is a title that many extraterrestrials gain that are adversaries against the Most High, who is Enki or Yahweh. Once this happens, family, these entities were also allowed to have access to demonic demons. They talk about a certain group of demons that won't be released until the last days. They'll be released from the bounds of hell they're bound in the lowest parts of hell, right? They're talking about certain Kalipotic demons who are so powerful they could easily take out archangels. Right? These are extremely old, powerful angels that are locked away, that chooses not to connect back to the Creator. They choose to be separate, and they have that choice. But they're locked away for now because they're too powerful. Too powerful, right? So the Creator itself had to lock them away. One day, aspects of their power will be released. But these beings, these Satanists, were allowed to influence man. So this is why a lot of these secret societies, you have people who can offer you things because they have the power of the Anunnaki behind them. And certain demonic energies who deem themselves to be demonic gods, right? Some of them actually are demonic gods. They persuade man, right? I'm not going to say they all evil. They offer man some good lives. But it doesn't line up with the Lucifer program. The Lucifer program is about man tapping into its true light, right? And man tapping into its true potential and overcoming these Satanists, right? Not falling for the illusion or the program. I believe there's been over 150 cases of people in the world have turned themselves into light. 150 documented cases of people who have transformed themselves into light bodies. That's pretty powerful. There's been many ascended masters on this planet. There's been many spiritual teachers. There's been lots of people who have evolved themselves spiritually. So we know the program works. The harder you put your foot on man, the stronger he gets. This is why some of your lives are hard. It's supposed to be. You're being tested. If you only stand up and face your accuser, if you only stand up and face your adversary, you will find out a very big secret, just like I did. You're more powerful than the one that's trying to hurt you. Learn how to fight. Life ain't about what you accomplish. It's about what you can overcome. Trust me when I tell y'all that. BroYosef talked to the millionaires. I've talked to people that got stuff, money and everything. What you guys got to understand is that they cover a lot of their hurts and pains with material things, with accomplishments, and they're still hurt. They must learn that life is about overcoming these things, because all the things that they acquired is an illusion. For me, the only reason I acquire physical things is for my daughter, for my future generations when I'm gone. Don't get me wrong. That doesn't mean that we don't have the right to enjoy our lives. Absolutely, I do things to enjoy my life. But my main focus of obtaining physical things, whether it's properties, real estate, houses, money, even land for TP and the Watchatoria Nation, this is all for future generations. It's for your future generation, my future generation. I'm going on to the next experience. I'm trying to get to the next higher world. I'm not trying to stay here. But while I'm here, I'm going to enjoy it. And I'm going to do my best. And I'm going to overcome my obstacles and overcome my adversary. And I want you guys to do the same. This is what the Lucifer program is about. It's about learning that this world is an illusion and learning how to tap into your true potential. So you can get back to the telepathy, the levitation, your God selves. That's what they realized. Man could not live his God self so fast. He had to slowly earn it. So they locked down your true nature and they made you work for it. And they realized that the more pressure that's put on man, the more his potential gets unlocked. Put him in a corner and see what he does. As he evolves, he just realizes one day. You know what I mean? He just comes to a realization. He becomes enlightened. Y'all ever see them superhero movies when they start pressuring or putting... I was just watching Lois and Clark, or Superman and Lois, I think it's called, on the CW network. Good show, by the way. And Superman has sons, and his one son's powers didn't activate until his son was pushed into a corner, and his son was forced. His power was forced to come out. That's how his power came out. That's how it happens for a lot of us. BroYosef was at the point where I had the gun to my head, going to commit suicide, and I was forced. I was put at a point where I had to make a decision. Okay? At that point, family, I chose to evolve. When I did, my whole life changed. I chose to overcome instead of getting down and laying down. You know, like they say, like people say, I'd rather die at my feet than live on my knees. That's really my mentality today. I'm not going to let these lower forces put me down. I can't do it. I'm going to do the best I can. Okay? I want you guys to do the best you can. That's what the Lucifer program is. It is simply something that was created by your physical gods, the Anunnaki, who created your bodies, right? Those are the gods of your body, your physical body. They are not the gods of your soul. You have the own God of your soul. The gods of your physical bodies put you down here and you were perfect. And then they shut down your DNA because they wanted you to work to get this back instead of it being given to you. Because when it was given to you, you was a spoiled brat. We were spoiled brats. And they had to give us an ass whooping and take away our toys. In so many words. Okay? Now we have to earn our toys back. A good example of that is the movie Thor. Go watch the first Thor movie. When his father gave him the power to be Thor. And Thor was a spoiled brat. He thought he could run around the 9 realms and do whatever he want. His daddy said, get your ass out the house, boy. Kicked him out the house. Banished him from Asgard. By doing that, he shut down his potential. But he always had the potential in him if he earned it. Right? He said, anyone who holds his hammer, if he be worthy, may he possess the power of Thor. So Thor had to be worthy to possess the power of Thor. He had to go through trials. He had to go through something to make himself worthy. That's the same thing with us, family. We already have the power. We just have to be worthy of it. That's why you're down here. That's what the Lucifer program is all about. It's about you becoming worthy of obtaining the power that's already yours. That's why you chose to come down here, so you could be worthy. So realize the spiritual struggles you go through, you're supposed to be going through it. Be careful. What you want to be careful of is distractions. Don't let the world distract you, right? By relationships, by family. Don't be distracted, family. Right? Don't be distracted. Fight. Overcome. So that you can be worthy. And you will complete this program that we call the Lucifer program. Right? So Lucifer came to help man. I'm not saying you need to worship Lucifer. What I'm saying is that the Lucifer program was created to help man. Okay? Created to help man. Right? Once you overcome the Lucifer program is shut down. It shuts down in your system. The program is shut off and shut down in your system. Once you overcome this Lucifer program. And you will be allowed to evolve to the next level. So you could look at the Lucifer program as something that is bad, right? And that's how most people look at the Lucifer program. This is really bad, and Lucifer's evil for this. Yeah, you could say that. But if you really look at a deeper level, Lucifer's not evil. He's doing you a favor. He's making you worthy to call yourself a goddess or a god. That's all that's happening, family. You're being tested so you can be worthy. That's all. So I want to encourage you guys with this and talk to you guys about this story, about this Lucifer program that was created to help you. But it depends on how you look at it. It can be looked at as something that's here to hold you down, and it will hold you down if you let it. But if you fight and overcome the tests and trials, you will be able to pick up your hammer like Thor. You'll be worthy. Like Shingo. Like Thor. You'll be worthy. All right? So I just want to share this with you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I love you guys. And I'm going to see you guys in the next video. Peace, family.